Archetype Village is an interdisciplinary project to elevate the customer experience at Archetype Brewery in Ashville, North Carolina. 3 team members, Walden, Rebekah, and Reet, collaborated on the project. Walden is an architecture major, and Reet and Rebekah are industrial design majors. The presentation is structured research, building, walkthrough, data, and the project began with research and a survey. 23 people between the ages of 21 and 51 were asked 7 questions about breweries. With the data from the survey, a journey map was created to understand the pain points and delights of visiting a brewery. 3 main objectives were drawn from the journey map and were the goals of the project: engagement, data, and incentives. All 3 were included in the digital and physical space. Now the presentation will shift into the building overview. Archetype Village was designed to engage the local neighborhood adjacent to the site and act as a community gathering space with its distinct identity in Ashville. The current fabric around Archetype includes setback commercial properties with parking adjacent to the street. This type of fragmented urban fabric traces Hayward Road from the highway to Asheville's downtown. Also noted on this drawing is a small alley that currently connects to Archetype's back entrance. The dashed line indicates how, before the insertion of parking lots, this led to the adjoining residential neighborhood. The proposition is that Archetype would more powerfully address and define Hayward Road while also shaping a distinct local village hub. This is achieved by reviving the pedestrian path at the back and creating a new open-air internal courtyard. The following walkthrough shows how the digital and physical work together in this project. This is the path a customer would take if they had driven to Archetype. At the arched entrance, they are faced with the event and production space in the front. This entrance starts their journey at Archetype Village. To the left of them is the interactive bar space. The user walks right in. When they enter this building, they are immediately welcomed with a welcome screen that displays different archetypes that live in the village. These archetypes have beer recommendations and more for the customer to interact with. Behind them is a Trending Now screen that uses data collected by Archetype's Rate and Drink portion of the app to display visually what is trending or what other customers and members are saying. It is visually scaled. The large bubbles float and represent more popular opinions, and the smaller ones represent those that are not. The customer then moves on to the interactive bar. This is the main bar space for customers to try and enjoy their beer. iPads are connected to the bar on a track, allowing them to be moved all around the bar so customers can vote as they wait on their drinks. On the iPad, customers can participate in a monthly beer vote where if they vote on their favorite beer, they are entered in a reward system. This is a fun way to gain insights on what beers customers enjoy. Some incentives might be merchandise, mugs, and even a free 6-packs. Connected to the interactive bar is the Drink and Rate feature of the Archetype Village app. This feature of the app is where we get the information for the Trending Now that is displayed in the entryway. After ordering a beer at the bar, one makes their way up the spiral stair to the drinking room. Constant digital interactions are an overwhelming reality of our lives, but there is a possibility for screens to passively enhance the space. In this area to sit and drink above the bar, slow-moving beer bubbles float overhead and reflect on mirrored tables, creating the unique experience of being submerged in a glass of beer. The customer makes their way across an open-air breezeway to the production space, named the Beer Vault. This space provides a really unique customer education experience. You walk in, you get to taste beer, and as you are enjoying and tasting, you can learn all about the brewing process. How it all works is the customer walks into the space and picks up a glass with an Archetype band on it. This Archetype band acts as their tap. Then they sip and walk between these interactive screens, and as they are enjoying their tasting, they learn more about the brewing process. In the first screen, customers pretend they are brewmasters and attempt to make their own brew. Then they learn that super important to the beer brewing process is being organized and keeping everything sanitized. On the final screen, they interact with upvotes connected to the Archetype app. And this is what that upvote feature would look like within the app. After you experience the walkthrough, the customer will leave the room and walk down the stairs. Here they will reach the event space. What makes the space so unique is Archetype can hold canning events because of the way the fermentation vessels are built into the space. Customers and Archetype can can beer at the bottom of these vessels. The open space also allows for events like concerts to be held at night. In addition to the physical, the Archetype app will have an events section where customers and members can get information on past, present, and future events. This is an opportunity for Archetype to collect data and figure out which events are most and least successful. Okay, so customers then walk through the open-aired event space, and they come to lovely large beer sculptures that occupy the garden. Archetype can capitalize off the beautiful sculptures as customers can take pictures, share it on social media, and get free, authentic promotion. One makes their way through the internal courtyard bordered by the existing red brick building housing an Asian fusion restaurant and pizza joint, and the Archetype bar. Both serve out to the courtyard. The space between the spaces, buffered from the street, allows for safe play, drink, and mingling, and supports beer with good food and vice versa. This project was in collaboration with the software company GoBeep, a platform for sharing personal data that puts security first. Included in the presentation is a summary of how data is collected in Archetype Village to benefit the brewery. For example, you can see Cowboy Poet is doing the best. That's 75% of customers are trying core beers first. 16 people upvoted and asked, what are core beers? And that 65 people described the Cowboy Poet as refreshing and 61 think it's yummy. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen. The project team had so much fun learning about and working with Archetype this semester.